Hey everyone, Joey O'Connor here, and thanks for watching. So today I'm doing something a little interesting. I'm gonna make this kind of a little different feature on golf lessons by video, to where I actually kind of break down someone else's swing, and of a professional, someone that we all kind of know. And obviously Jack Nicklaus is someone who we all know. We all love him, we all appreciate him, give him just the utmost credit for golf for what it is today. So, and he's not only a wonderful golfer on the course, he is a wonderful man off the course. So before I even say what I'm gonna say, I mean the utmost respect, okay? The reason why I'm doing this video first is because I use him as an example for many of my students. And honestly, what we're getting into is everybody kind of knows the Jack Nicklaus name, but I'm getting into students who I say Jack Nicklaus and they don't even know what his swing looks like. So I figured this would be a great chance for me, while I had some extra time, to sit down and do this video to break down what I mean when I say, hey, don't swing like Jack Nicklaus. And yes, I know I probably had some people already shaking your heads at me. No, I get that, but I'm gonna break this down. I want to say this: Jack Nicklaus, even at his prime, was the best repeater of the golf swing. Okay, what I mean by that is 9.8% of the time, what am I trying to say? 99.8% of the time, he can repeat his swing. Okay, so he's the best at it. However, with me saying that, I don't want anybody swinging like him or emulating him to swing. And here's why, okay? And I'm going to talk about the good and the bad. Well, there's no bad. Again, don't get me wrong. Please don't send me nasty emails. I'm not saying anything bad about Jack Nicklaus. Nope. What I'm saying is the people that are trying to emulate him, you're going to have a harder time in golf, okay? So let's talk about some of the great things that we can see here in this video. Now, first of all, you can see the text up there at the top, the title of this video. This is a video snippet off of his video series that he did, shoot, I don't know, back in the 70s or 80s, called Golf My Way. Luckily now it's on YouTube, so you can just do a search for that. You'll get to his Jack Nicklaus YouTube page. And just on a side note, back in the, I think, late 70s, maybe early 80s, maybe mid 80s, something like that. I'm sorry I didn't do my due diligence and do research on when his video came out. But it was so long ago that I remember it was a rainy day and my father and I could not go play golf. So he's like, you know what? Let's do the second best thing. Let's go to the library to watch this video. Yep, the library. So I remember the librarian, we went in, she's like, yeah, no problem. Just give me about 10 minutes to set up the projector. Yep, projector. It was on reel to reel in our library. It was free to view. They set us up in a nice little small conference room. And Dad and I sat there and watched the video in the library. So, okay, so there's my little story about that. So here we are looking at Jack Nicklaus. Number one thing, probably one of the best setups in golf ever, right? Because he's not standing too tall, like his head's not up, he's not looking over his chin. He's got this perfect V, right? With his arms, his grip's really good. He's got a little bit of a strong grip. You might not be able to tell. Sorry about the video quality, but again, this was done way long ago and then just uploaded digitally, so it wasn't cleaned up or anything. This is just the way it looks. He's got a driver in his hand, steel shaft, So it's lower, it's shorter and heavier in size than what we use today. That's why it's back in his stance a little bit more. So I don't want you to worry too much about that. We're going to get to the point here in a second, but I want you to see. You see how his legs right here make this nice, sometimes what I call tabletop, where this is like two legs and a tabletop right here, and you see how it's nice and balanced, like he has almost the same amount of weight on his right side as he does left. That's perfect. But I want you to know this little upper body tilt. So if you drew a line from his head to his chin to his belly button to his belt, you'd get this line, and it's tilted back. See how his left shoulder is higher than his right. That's the way you want to be. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get this video to work correctly, because I'm going to show you the things that I know I want you to emulate this part. That's perfect setup, right? Let me push play here. All right, and let me try to get, okay, let me try to go back. Hang on, give me a second, because it's not a slow-mo video or anything. Let me see if I can get to the top. All right, that's almost perfect. Now, this, at this point, is something that I do not want people to try to do. This is the top of his backswing. You will notice right here that his left foot is off the ground. His left knee is bent way inside, which his left knee is not too much of the issue, but here his left foot is off the ground. He's also on his toe. Now, I've seen other videos, and I tried to find one. I just couldn't find it, so I just used this one. There are other videos of him when his heel is a little bit higher, and he's really up off his toes. Now, briefly, the point is this. At the top of your backswing, you see how his shoulders are actually turned too much? His left shoulder is way down here pointing to his right foot, right? Or correct, okay? The reason why his knee has to come in and his foot gets off the ground is because his upper body can't turn anymore unless he does this, right? So, but again, he's the master at doing this, right? Nothing wrong with Jack Nicklaus doing this, but I don't want anyone else trying to do this. So you can see what happens is, and what I said earlier in the video, what he's good at is repeating his swing. So here's the thought process. Whatever he did on his backswing to get to this point at the top, you'll see him transition to go in his forward swing. Whatever he does on his way to the top of his backswing, he has to do in exactly the same reverse order coming back. So right now, his foot lifted up. So now when he comes down, he's got to put his foot down. He's got to put his heel back in the right position. His left knee needs to come in. He's got his arm here a little bit. You know, it's fine. You know, I don't want anybody to beat me up, but it's fine for this, right? For what he is. But he's got to unlock all this stuff and come back down in the exact reverse order. And it's hard for any of us to do that. Okay, so let me double click here just real quick. Okay, so there's his really at the top there. Okay, and let me try to go back. I don't know if I can get this view done. Let me go back. See if I can do it here so we can see his setup. There's his quarter swing. Now, well, okay. Happy accidents, right? This is almost the position he needs to be in at the top of his swing. His shoulder now is basically pointing straight down, almost at the ball. It's a little bit more pointing here in the middle of his stance, but that's okay. But see how his foot is still on the ground, his knees bent a little bit just because his shoulders turned his hips and turned his knee in a little bit. So if the club was a little bit back here, he did not break his wrist much in his swing. I know he talks about doing that some, but most of the videos don't show a lot of wrist breakage. So if his wrist broke here a little bit, his club would be more like this, which would be almost a full swing. I know everybody wants to get the club back here to be parallel to the ground, and that's not necessary. But that would be it. Let me see if I can get it come down. Yeah, it's just so fast and such a slow video. Let me see if I can do it again. Sorry, hang with me here. All right, so now, yep, so, well, I can just stop it here. You can see he put his foot back down on the ground. He's got a nice kind of almost straight leg. But here is the number, also, like, maybe the most important thing that I've said of any of this stuff. The ball was right down here, right? So if we draw a straight line up, I want you to notice that his left shoulder is about where his ball was, right? He is, every bit of his upper body is behind, so to speak, behind the golf ball. And what we mean by that, if we had the golf ball here and we draw a line straight up, I'm sorry I can't do it on this screen. If we took the ball and drew it straight up here, it would go somewhere like that. It would go through his leg and go up somewhere and end right here. So his body and all that is behind this line, or behind the golf ball. And see that? That is a perfect. He's doing a very big power mode right here. Your feet would probably still be on the ground. The club's actually out here. It hasn't had time to rotate his body up, so he's doing this himself. In other words, his swing or the club is not doing it. He's doing it with his body to get a lot of distance. I don't really want anybody doing that unless I instruct them to do it much later on. And then you can see now the club is now taking his body up to be a little bit straighter. He has slowed down a lot. And now you can see, and look, here's another good example. He's finished with his swing. Look how much he's tilted back. Right? So if your body is way out in front of this line, or way over your left foot, your left leg, now you can emulate Mr. Nicklaus this way. But don't emulate him at the top of your swing, okay? Let's see if I can pause it. And now let's look at the whole thing, okay? So I'll be quiet for a second.
It should look something like this.
It's a beautiful swing. Look how much he's angled back. Yes, I'm sorry, I get excited. All right. There you go. Look at that. He's almost falling back, right? Almost looks to us like he's falling back, but he's not. And look, the club's all the way back behind him. Look at this wonderful, beautiful angle. All right, so I could go on and on, but I'm not. So I'll finish it right there. I'm sorry this is a little bit more long-winded than I thought I was going to be today, but that's what I mean. If any students are watching, that's what I mean. Like, let's not be like Jack Nicklaus, okay? All right, so hope you'll stay tuned for a lot more videos, and certainly hope you'll visit golflessonsbyvideo.com. I would love to help you. All right, take care. We'll see you next time.